Okay. You've had a bright idea, and that bright idea, you do nothing with it other than think about it, and then you see it somewhere. You know, like for me, what happened was, you know, the plastic surfboard, the kneeboard. I thought about it 3 years later. I see it in the market. The campers in the back of pickup trucks, those flexible things, I dreamt it. I felt it, and I said I should do it. A couple years later, I saw it in the market. The soft covers over the trucks and on the sides of the semis where they put that windshield blades. Same thing. I saw it in my mind, I thought about it, and you know, I missed it. I completely freaking missed it, man. So I'm sharing this with you because I was listening to a couple of guys on YouTube, Justin C. Scott and Gary Vee, and they're talking about, you know, what do you do in 2020 and how do you get ahead and all these other things. And you know what? Let me tell you what. The same thoughts, similar thoughts that they were discussing, I have had coming up to 2020. And so I would be remiss if I didn't share that with somebody. Because what it tells me, if there's 2 other men that are out there speaking about it, there's other people that are thinking about it, just like those inventions, those thoughts that you may have had yourself. So, what are you going to do about 2020? Will be another year that goes by, another thought, or will you capture that moment within yourself and you finally do something? What's the finally do something? I don't know about you, but let me tell you that because of a lack of self-esteem, I didn't rock and roll, man. That's what happened. I got to the edge and I'd pull back. I'd get back to the edge again and I'd pull back. And I'd find a reason to just quit. But not this year. And I want to share something with you that really helped me. You know, I've done some research in electronics and blah, blah, blah. And I got a little bit of a history in the medical field, okay? So there's a concept that I want to share with you that I hope it helps you. And it's laser. Laser is not, I know you think of it as a laser that you point with it and you do things like that. But that's an acronym. And laser stands for light amplification stimulated emissions through radiation. That's long, isn't it? That's why they call it laser, because it'd be too long to say that's a light amplification stimulated emission by radiation. But check it out, because how this applies. By the way, if you stick with me to the end, I want to give you a bonus for you for free. And something that'll help you take 2020 to the next level. It has helped me immensely, and that's why I want to share that with you. All right, so here it is. See if I can get this right. There you go. Okay, laser, right? So what you see there is a word, and what you see is a little dot right about there, right? So underneath, if I can get this one, all those little blue lines, those little marks, represent the electrons inside of a chamber that's sealed. The curves on both sides represent mirrors, okay? The direction is where that's the end goal, all right? And so above that little dish, right, you can see that little thing that I put up here, okay? Let's see if I get this right. Right about right there, okay? That's the radiation that is stimulating the movement. Otherwise, those electrons are not doing nothing but just sitting there vibrating. Kind of like you and me, that we just sit and we get to the edge but don't do something. So you get a push, you get a thought, a comment that says, hey man, I'm talking to you, right? And so when that stimulation from an outside source, meaning the the radiation, right, hits these electrons, they start to move rather than just simply vibrate. And when they start to move, they start bouncing around inside this chamber back and forth. And then they bump against each other. And so you got a lot of bumping going on inside this chamber. And so that bumping causes them to start moving in this direction. And on this side, what I have represented there is a semi-permeable mirror. So it's a mirror like this one. This one on this side is solid so that they can always bounce, all right? So they can always bounce in the same direction. So from here, they're aimed to move in this direction. Eventually, when you get enough of that source going back and forth, what you have is you have a current of electrons that are moving so fast, right? That what's taking place here is that they're moving back and forth right here. And so it gets to the point where that energy is so powerful that all the electrons are moving in one single focused aim. When that happens, that mirror opens up and allows that energy to travel out through a directed device. That medium could be a cable, could be a set of other mirrors. And it doesn't really matter what it is, because I'm not here to teach you the electronics and the functions of a laser. But I want to tell you that the intelligence that created that is us, humans, mankind. But deeper than that, what created that is the same thoughts that come into us and say, hey, what about this idea? What about that idea? What about 2020? What are you going to do? And you know, it took me about 20 some years to get to this point. And so my desire is it doesn't take you that long. And the bonus I have for you is that I want to tell you what I've done to overcome that lack of action. And so that's what I want to share with you. You give me your email, you send me, you know, a message through Instagram, whatever, contact me, and I'll give you the laid out details on what is it that I do in order to overcome, to keep moving forward so that I don't lose the opportunity. And that's basically, you know, 8 steps. So I wrote them down just because I wouldn't forget, and you know, frankly, a little nervous about this. But here it is. Okay, number 1, that you get to the point where, well, first of all, let me tell you what it's not. This is not a mantra. This is not a feel good. This is something that works. It's a way to rewire your brain, literally, so that you can be happy. Because that's exactly what Gary Vee is talking about. He's saying, isn't that what we're all about? Just to be happy? All right? And every thought that we have is a creative thought, whether it's positive or negative. There is no neutral thought. We're always creating. And that's exactly what Justin C. Scott is saying. And look, it's important for you to capture the gist of what I'm saying, because it's not about me, it's about you. It really is. It's about you understanding, first of all, that there is nothing wrong. Actually, there's nothing right. It's just creative energy. That, you know, that's number 1. The number 2 is that the brain is not the mind. They're not the same thing. And I'm going to give you other details about that. And that the mind is not the soul. Each one have a thought pattern that can be identified. And when you identify how your brain thinks versus what your mind thinks, and versus how the thoughts that come from the soul, I'm telling you, life becomes easy, because it's not you fighting yourself anymore. Now you understand where these principles are coming from. So, number 4 is the soul is the neshama. The soul is not the neshama. I'm sorry. What that means is that there's a perfect idea inside of you. The neshama is a way of saying the most perfect piece of your identity. You get that? It's a word that identifies the shard of godness, of purity that makes each and every single one of us valuable. And that has a voice. That's the observer in you. That's the real deal. That's the real you. Yeah. So look, the fifth step is let your ears hear what your mouth is saying, which comes from the heart. And when you make that connection consistently, something's going to change, and you will never be the same knucklehead in the past. You'll be the new you, the one that you've always wanted to be. There will be no resistance in you. It'll be flow. You'll be in the zone. I'm telling you, for sure. And so then you take this information, you write it down, you add feelings, you add emotions, and you go through a process of reading it and feeling it, and you go through the process. Look, I'll take you to the extra bonus that I do, okay? You're going to do all of this for the last step, step 7. You do this for 3 days religiously, and what's going to happen is on the 4th day you don't, and for the next 3 days you monitor yourself. Guarantee you it'll change you. I freaking guarantee that you will see the changes. You know why? Because every thought is a seed, and every seed germinates, and it takes about 3 days to a week to see the results. But when you do it focusedly like a laser, and you're hitting it every day 3 times a day, what's going to happen is now you're going to see the effects and the manifestations of your thoughts. Not the thoughts that the media is sharing, not the thoughts that are coming through, people conversating and the radio and whatever it is that you listen to, wherever it is that you work. Your thoughts. You will see the results of your own power. And that, my friend, is liberating. You will see the power of your own sovereignty. So, at that point, you get to chill through 7 days that's all it takes, 7 days of a short little course. Now, I'm trying to make it short because it's just a video, and I want you to get the gist of it. I want you to get the details. And then I would like you to get back to me and tell me how this works for you, because it has worked phenomenal for me. So here we go again. Step number 1 is that there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. Step number 2 is that your brain is not your mind. And step number 3 is that your mind is not your soul. And step number 4 is that your soul is not your neshama. And these are things that you will understand clearly. Step number 5 is that you start speaking the truth that you know in your heart. And let your mouth speak to your ears, and let that resonate to the point where it starts to change you and you feel it. You touch the words, because you got to write it down first. And you feel them, and you live them, and you breathe them. And the extra bonus is, you know what, this is what I do. I jump in the shower, and I'll turn it out to nice and hot, and I say the words, and I memorize them, and then I just feel it like all over my body, right? As the water is just nice and comfortable, and then I turn it cold, and I repeat it. You see, in that tension, in that moment of tension of hot and cold, my brain has to think in 2 different ways. That's part of the secret of feeling it. That's where you engage your whole body in the process. I'm going to give you all the details of it. And then the last step is you record it. You write down your observations after day 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then you get back to me, you let me know how that works. So, look, this is, I'm giving it to you because it's worked for me. And because a lot of people are asking me, hey Hector, when are you going to, put out information? Avi, when are you going to write that book? And out of that comes this video. So in 2020, I want to share some things with you. I hope this helps you. As a matter of fact, I don't hope, I know it will. If you put action, if you take action today and you do the steps, you write, you put your email, you make contact with me, I'll give you the information for free. And all you got to do is do it. And you're going to see in 1 week the power of yourself, the power of your brain. So, what else is there to say but for you to take action? Do it. It costs you nothing but time. It's a wonderful experiment. Look me up on Facebook, look me up. You'll see all the links and the information. You're pretty savvy by now. You know what to do. Okay? So, with that I leave you.